Boy Scouts of America have rebranded. Did you know this?
I just saw briefly a little bit of it. Scouting America, that I guess so that they thems and all the other made up genders can be included. Maybe.
Yes, yes. So the Boy Scouts of America have rebranded to Scouting America.
Mm,
Now there's several nefarious parts about this.
yeah.
So Joker, who was on the show last Friday, shout out Joker, summarizes it very well. Boy Scouts of America rebranded to Scouting America for inclusion of girls. Girl Scouts of America, no rebrand or change, and boys aren't allowed to join. Another thing only taken away from boys and men, while women keep their own spaces. Now, I would argue that there's been a lot of women's spaces invaded
That's
by men.
true. All they got to
Um,
do is identify as a
yeah,
woman.
yeah. So I would
Yeah.
argue that it's not necessarily that. But what I thought was funny, if I could pull it up here, I think they locked down their Twitter. I think they locked down their
Oh.
it was here. Is this it?
Oh, Boy Scouts.
I think they locked out. Yep. So they locked the replies after getting ruthlessly ratioed. So they said, now the Boy Scouts of America today announced it. By the way, for most people that didn't know, I'm pretty sure this is also true of the Girl Scouts.
Right.
Both of these organizations are completely broke.
Oh.
Like,
Well, things have just gotten
millions and millions in
things have
debt.
gotten so weird. If I had a kid, I wouldn't want if it was a boy, I wouldn't want him in the Boy Scouts after all kinds of creeps and stuff who insert themselves into these type of positions. And it's just not doesn't feel like the most safe environment, especially and this is making it worse though. This whole okay, now you're rebranding everything and you're by making it more inclusive. I mean, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, all that, they have sleepover type settings.
Yeah.
They go out camping, sometimes they do all this stuff and you're just putting these kids in dangerous situations by doing any of
Well,
this.
speaking of that, also, people may be firmly aware that the Boy Scouts of America lost a massive lawsuit over
Oh,
just that, an $850 million settlement. The Boy Scouts of America had to pay dozens of alleged, I mean, I guess not alleged, dozens of people young boys who are on the receiving end of terrible behavior. So essentially, the Boy Scouts is, I mean, I don't know if they're the 7 trans people that they're gonna be able to let in now.
right.
I don't think that's gonna help offset the hundreds of millions. I mean, they owe JP Morgan $250 million. I mean,
Yeah.
they are massively, massively in debt. And you look at some of the replies, obviously they locked it down, but it was not going well for them. You see, like, and wokeness, another iconic institution killed at the hands of wokeness. They blocked
Yep.
all these people too. Tim Young,
Oh,
how long till Scouting America announces drag shows for kids?
for
I'm
real.
surprised they didn't rebrand as they them scouts. You destroyed an outlet for boys to be boys and learn to be men.
Exactly. That's what Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts used to be. Was like, oh, okay, here are the boys had these masculine figures to learn how to be men from, and the girls were doing girl things and learning how to do girly things like cook, make
Yeah.
candles. I mean, I was a Girl Scout. We like do crafts and do little cute girl things. And that just doesn't fit with modern day approved society where they want to blur gender and just make everybody one amorphous blob.
Do you remember? So, were you a brownie or were you a Girl Scout?
I was a brownie.
Did you know how uh, a Cub Scout becomes a Boy Scout?
No.
When they eat their first brownie. That was the that was always the joke in Boy Scouts.
Wow.
The I think that it's sad because you know part of me is like like damn, you had a den of creeps.
Right.
So I kind of don't want to like wax philosophic about how good the Boy Scouts were, but I never had
Yeah.
a problem with any, obviously, well, not that I don't remember. I have friends that became Eagle Scouts. That was a big deal to be an Eagle Scout.
Mhm.
That meant you stayed in the Boy Scouts until you were like 16 or something like that. Like you were
Right.
in way past most people. And I think that it's sad. I think that the idea that they're rebranding makes no sense, none at all to me.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this going to do?
Did they think this was gonna go over well? That's what I wonder, because they make this announcement, then they block their replies later, but did anybody think it was a good idea and that society was gonna be fine with this after everything going on with,
Yeah.
especially involving children and the drag shows and this, that, and the other, sports with the trans stuff, people speaking out against all of that. Did they think that people were gonna be okay with this?
Well, here's some, and it's just an anecdote, and maybe chat can, because a lot of people in chat have kids. They can maybe share this. But I was watching the chat before the screen or before the stream, and a couple people mentioned that like all their den leaders are like overweight, purple-haired women. So it's like,
Oh,
I wonder. Now, my mom was my den leader
okay.
when I was a Cub Scout, but my mom is not woke. Like
Right,
it was like I think there were other men there too. It was like whoever could volunteer or whatever.
right.
And like she wasn't there for like the overnights or any of that other kind of
Mhm.
stuff. But like that's what somebody mentioned that. So just like we talked about um with like the mods and Discord and all these things, it's possible that a bunch of these wokies, I mean, what's the saying, right? Um, who said that famously? Why do you rob banks? And he's like, that's because that's where the money is.
Right.
Like, why are you in the Boy Scouts? That's where little boys are. Like
Exactly, but then
you
also a lot of these queer people are like they can't create, so they want to take these,
right?
they want to recruit. And so I think that's why a lot of them want to be teachers, why a lot of them want to be in this case Boy Scout and Girl Scout leaders. Now, obviously there's the creeps and the ones who need wood chippers, but then there's also some who are just like, "Ooh, this is a good opportunity for me to recruit more people into our queer club."
Yeah, it's a position of power. I can, use that position of power for evil
Yeah.
or whatever it is that, perhaps they want to do. But I do think that it's particularly weird that kind of the same, the same, it's met the same fate. And I don't know where the Girl Scouts are financially, but
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure they're not doing well financially either.
Right.
And I just, between this and the massive lawsuit, I mean, just end it.
Yep,
Just get rid of it. Just
I agree.
the Boy Scouts aren't what they used to be. There's almost certainly not teaching or preaching masculinity.
Yep,
So there, I just don't. I struggle to see any value in
I
keeping it around.
agree. Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
seems like
sad.
Chad agrees too. Time to just let it go. Excuse me, let it go by the wayside.